Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel, Experimental Designs the Two. Ever wonder how psychologists come up with the theories and concepts we learn about? Well, it's not magic, but the process is indeed fascinating. It all starts with a research methodology. Research methodology is the backbone of psychology. It's a systematic, theoretical analysis of the methods applied to a field of study. It comprises the theoretical analysis of the body of methods and principles associated with a branch of knowledge. Essentially, it's the how of research. Now, within research methodology, we have something called experimental designs. These designs are like blueprints of how a research study is set up. They outline the structure of the study, the variables involved, and how they are manipulated or controlled. Experimental designs are crucial because they ensure the validity and reliability of the research, making the findings more credible and valuable. Hold on tight as we delve into the exciting world of experimental designs in research methodology. Understanding factorial designs. Imagine a research study with multiple variables. How can we analyze it? The answer is factorial designs. So, what exactly is a factorial design? Picture it as a method used in experiments that allows researchers to not just study one, but multiple variables at the same time. This isn't just about observing the variables independently, but also analyzing how they interact with each other. For instance, let's say we're looking at the effects of diet and exercise on mood. A factorial design would allow us to see the impact of diet and exercise separately, and also how diet and exercise together influence mood. Pretty neat, right? One of the key strengths of factorial designs is their efficiency. Rather than running several separate experiments to examine each variable, factorial designs allow for simultaneous testing. This can save a lot of time, effort, and resources. Additionally, factorial designs capture the complexity of real life. Rarely does a single factor influence an outcome in isolation. More often than not, it's a mix of different factors interacting together. Factorial designs allow us to model and understand these interactions, giving us a richer understanding of the phenomena we're studying. However, like all research methods, factorial designs have their limitations. They can become quite complex very quickly. The more variables you add, the more interactions there are to consider. This can make the design and interpretation of the experiment more challenging. Moreover, factorial designs require larger sample sizes. To properly detect interactions between variables, you need enough participants to represent all combinations of your variables. This can sometimes be difficult to achieve in practice. Despite these challenges, the benefits of factorial designs are considerable. They provide a more comprehensive view of the variables under study and their interactions. This makes them an invaluable tool for researchers seeking to understand the complex relationships that exist in the world around us. Factorial designs, complex as they may sound, are a potent tool in a researcher's arsenal. Between groups weaves within group designs. In psychology, it's not just about what we study, but also how we study it. And when it comes to experimental designs, it's crucial to understand the difference between groups and within group designs. Let's start with between groups design. This design involves comparing two or more independent groups. For example, think about a study comparing the effects of a new learning method on two separate groups, one using the new method and the other using a traditional method. Here, each participant is exposed to only one condition, thus allowing us to infer the effect of the learning method on each group independently. The advantage of this design is its simplicity and clarity. However, its potential pitfall lies in the fact that any pre-existing differences between the groups could affect the results. On the other hand, within group designs involve exposing the same group of participants to all conditions. Picture a study where the same group of individuals is tested before and after a training program. The advantage of this design is that it controls for individual differences, as each participant serves as their own control. However, it may be affected by order effects. This means that the order in which the conditions are presented could impact the results. For instance, participants might perform better in later conditions simply because they've become more familiar with the task. So, when to use each design? Between groups designs are typically beneficial when the conditions being compared could potentially interact or when the effects of one condition could carry over to affect performance in another. Within group designs, meanwhile, are often chosen when the conditions being compared are unlikely to interact and when controlling for individual differences is crucial. Choosing the right design can significantly impact the results of a study, making it crucial to understand the difference between and within group designs. Evaluating experimental designs. So, you've designed an experiment, but how do you know if it's any good? This is a question that every researcher faces. It's not enough to simply set up an experiment and collect data. We must also critically evaluate our experimental designs. Evaluating experimental designs is vital for a number of reasons. It helps us identify potential flaws in our methodology, which could influence our results and interpretations. It also allows us to assess how confidently we can generalize our findings to the broader population. One key criterion for evaluation is validity. Validity refers to how well a study measures what it intends to measure. It includes both internal validity, which is about the accuracy of conclusions drawn within the context of the experiment, and external validity, which pertains to the ability to generalize the findings beyond the experiment. Reliability is another crucial factor. It refers to the consistency of the results if the experiment were to be repeated under the same conditions. A reliable experiment is one that produces the same results consistently, indicating that the findings are not due to chance or random error. Ethical considerations are also a fundamental part of evaluating experimental designs. Research should always respect the rights and welfare of participants. This includes informed consent, confidentiality, and ensuring that the benefits of the research outweigh any potential risks to participants. It's important to remember that evaluating an experiment isn't something we do only after the study is complete. It's a continuous process that starts from the moment we start designing our experiment. We must constantly ask ourselves, are we measuring what we intend to measure? Will our findings be reliable? Are we treating our participants ethically? In the complex world of research, there are no perfect experiments. Every study has its limitations. But by critically evaluating our experimental designs, we can ensure that our research is as rigorous, reliable, and ethical as possible. Evaluation is not just a final step, it's a crucial part of the entire research process. Summary. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. We began by delving into the importance of research methodology. This isn't just a buzzword in the scientific community. It's the backbone of every study, every experiment we conduct. It's the compass that guides us through the vast ocean of knowledge, helping us to navigate and avoid potential pitfalls. Moving on, we examined factorial designs, an essential tool in the research kit. These designs allow us to investigate multiple factors simultaneously, giving us a comprehensive view of how these factors interact with one another. It's like piecing together a puzzle where each piece represents a different factor. Factorial designs help us see the entire picture, not just isolated fragments. Next, we dissected the difference between groups and within group designs. These are two different approaches to conducting experiments, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Between groups design is like comparing apples to oranges. It's about comparing different groups to each other. On the other hand, within group design is more like comparing an apple to itself at different stages of ripeness. It's about observing changes within the same group over time. Finally, we underscored the importance of evaluating experimental designs. It's not enough to simply conduct an experiment. We must also critically assess it, scrutinize it, question it. Evaluating experimental designs is the process of checking our work, ensuring that our methods are sound, our results are valid, and our conclusions are trustworthy. In conclusion, understanding these elements of research methodology is not just beneficial, it's crucial. It's the difference between blindly following a path and forging one with purpose and precision. It's the difference between asking a question and finding a meaningful answer. Understanding these elements of research methodology is key to conducting and evaluating psychological research effectively. Let's keep exploring. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.